hundreds and hundreds of people over 8 years as a functional medicine doctor. I'm going to tell you the most stupidly simple thing that most people are not doing when it comes to increasing your energy and your focus every day. And it's going to be stupidly obvious once I say it, but I have to say it. It's drinking water. Good old water. Are you drinking enough water? Are you drinking regularly throughout the day? And are you forgetting after a few hours and just, saying, oh, I'll just drink, a giant, bottle, a 2-liter Poland Spring bottle all at once. That'll make up for it. Well, that's definitely not the best way to go about it, because we got to be slowly, but surely hydrating your body. And so you want to do this slowly over the course of a day. So think about a garden. If you were to water a garden, would it be better to water that garden once every, several hours, just with a good sprinkle over every square foot of the land? Or would it be better to just dump once a day, dump a ton of water on it all at once? Obviously, it's better to take the low and slow method so you don't drown, out the seeds, the plants. Your tissues work the same way in your body. And so how do you do this? Like in your real life, what are the biggest challenges people have? The biggest challenges that we encounter is that people just don't remember. You just don't remember to drink more water. And so the question then is, how can you help yourself to remember to drink more water? Well, the easiest things here are that, number one, that we see that help people, just keep a bottle around you, right? A water bottle, 1-liter bottle, stainless steel ideally, and you just have it around. So it's in your visual field, and so you're more likely to remember it because you see it there. Okay, so that's one thing. Second thing is to write sticky notes or have reminders, a reminder system. It could be a sticky note you write and put up on your computer or on your fridge or in your car. Okay, or it could be a reminder on your phone. There are apps you can download, free apps that remind you to drink water regularly. Okay, so reminders. If you can think of some other system in your life, be creative here. Don't just rely on me or anyone else. What do you think you can do? Think for a moment, all right? So we want you to be able to empower yourself to understand what you can do to take care of your health. And part of that is learning from people like myself. Other part of that is generating ideas on your own. So you learn to become a problem solver when it comes to your health. So what can you do when it comes to your own life? How can you maximize the chances that you remember? Okay, so that's one thing. The other big thing to mention here is that we want to make it compelling. We want you to want to drink water. I don't want you to drink water because you feel like you're supposed to, but instead, what if you could drink water because you want to, because it tastes good, because you look forward to it? And so a few ways to do that are to play with the temperature, the texture, the flavor. And so temperature, right here, I have ice in my glass here. And so to me, that helps me. I live in Florida here, South Florida. It's hotter. But changing that temperature, maybe you live in a colder area. Maybe it's more appealing to you to drink warmer water, or half hot water. Take a half cup of room temp water, half cup of boiling water, and pour them together. Okay, that's temperature. Second thing to play with is flavor. Flavor could mean putting in a strip of lemon, or a splash of juice to make it more exciting, or salt, a little bit of salt. This is more texture, actually. So getting into the third one, texture, is salt gives it a little bit of electrolytes, makes it easier to absorb, gives it a little bit of a different taste. And ideally, use some pink Himalayan sea salt or some Celtic sea salt, just a pinch, not too much. And a glass of water this big, just one little pinch. Okay, you can do that. And the last thing you can do is use bubbly. Bubbly, that's something that I love. I do a ton of bubbly water, and so bubbly water makes it more exciting, different texture. Again, you can add in a little sprig of juice, and that'll make it kind of like soda, but a million times less of the sugar content. So instead of having 15 teaspoons of sugar in a glass, you can just have a half a teaspoon. And so those are the best ways to experiment with getting more water and make yourself enjoy it, make yourself like it. And so give those a try. Pick one and try it later today. And make a habit out of it. Because if you can imagine dehydrating yourself on purpose, how do you think you'd feel? Would you feel more focused or less focused? Do you have more energy or less energy? Yeah, you're going to have less energy. You're going to be less focused. Now, what if you did the opposite? What if you optimally hydrated yourself using these types of habits? How would you feel? How would you feel? High energy? Would you feel, have you like to have at least a little bit more focus, a little bit more energy? Probably, right? So that's what I implore you to try. Give it a shot. Let me know. And these are the things that we see help the most people in the simplest way, rather than you having to rely on taking medications and going on a wild goose chase, trying to figure out what's causing your symptoms. Maybe you're just not drinking enough water.